wrestling fans. My name is Brian Crazy. You're watching my brand, That Brand of Wrestling, and entertainment here on YouTube.com and the World Wide Web since 2010, providing you with wrestling news, reviews, rumors, insight that you've grown accustomed to. And you saw the title of this video. I am back with my review of WWE's NXT Wrestling for November 28th, 2012. This episode of NXT Wrestling emanated from the NXT Arena at Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida. Jim Ross and Tom Phillips were on commentary tonight, and we start off the show with a backstage promo as Daniel Bryan and Kane, the current WWE Tag Team Champions. They will be in the main event tonight. They will square off against Michael McGillicuddy and Johnny Curtis. Johnny Curtis will finally be cashing in that opportunity at the tag team titles he won so many months ago on NXT. So the opening segment, Daniel Bryan, Kane, good opening segment. I mean, it was funny. We had Daniel Bryan start off talking about how he's the tag team champions. Then Kane cuts in and says, "No, Daniel, I'm the tag team champions," and they end up going back and forth. And you got to keep in mind, everything that was featured on tonight's episode or today's episode of NXT was taped back in October. It was taped on October 11th. So some of the characters, some of the storylines have not caught up to where they are in the current weekly episodic WWE television product, the Raw, the SmackDown, the Superstars, the main event. We go into the first match of the night, Trent Beretta versus Leo Kruger. And last time I saw Leo Kruger, I haven't been watching NXT for the last several months. I'm getting back onto watching it now. And the last time I saw Leo Kruger, he actually performed at a house show I attended back in December here in Hartford, Connecticut. And I'm from Middletown, which is about 20 miles away. And it was a good match. It was a six-man tag. He had a lot of intensity. You could tell that he was going to do something big in the business. He definitely had all the tools. He had the look. He had the charisma. He had the in-ring talent. But it seems like they've repackaged him since then. Now he has the gimmick of a deranged hunter. Kind of reminds me of a psycho mixed with Kraven the Hunter from Spider-Man. I mean, that's how I would describe it. And he actually pulls it off well. He has the look for it. He makes the right facial expressions. He has the right in-ring presence. He makes the right mannerisms. He really pulls it off well. And Leo Kruger did pick up the win over Trent Beretta. We'll skip back just a little bit. As Trent Beretta was making his entrance to the ring, they showed a recap of the attack that happened on Trent Beretta. And then you saw right around the corner, Leo Kruger was kind of squatting there with this crazy look on his face like I was talking about. And he's just kind of pulling on his hair. And I really, like I said, like what they did with the character. Leo Kruger was successful, picked up the win over Trent Beretta. And in the storyline, Trent Beretta's injured ribs just really, were part of the whole thing. I mean, you have to put that into play. He just wasn't 100%, and Kruger capitalized. Then we go into the second match of the night. Xavier Woods, which is the former Consequences Creed from TNA Wrestling, squared off against Mimo Montenegro, who is the younger brother of Alberto Del Rio. Excuse me. He's a little bit shorter than Del Rio. He's a little bit stockier than Del Rio, but he does have a good in-ring presence. You can tell that he's technically sound. And I expect big things not only out of Xavier Woods, but also Mimo Montenegro. Xavier Woods was successful, picked up the win over Montenegro in a real old-school wrestling match. The first two matches of the night were real old-school wrestling, real mat-based, no high-flying, really focused on headlocks and arm drags, and real old-school, real reminiscent of a late 80s, early 90s wrestling match where it wasn't really about all the choreographed maneuvers. It was more about telling a story in the ring. And you could tell that these guys definitely learn from some old school workers. Then we go into Divas action. Audrey Marie goes against Emma. This is Emma's first outing in NXT Wrestling, and she does not disappoint. She has a little bit of history under her belt, but not too much. She's only been in the business for several years. Same thing with Audrey Marie, but Audrey Marie was very impressive. I do have to say, she was successful. She picked up the win over Emma. Then we go into what is supposed to be a backstage interview with Roman Reigns, and the interviewer goes, Roman Reigns isn't going to be here. And he proceeds to read off a prepared statement by Roman Reigns. Then we go back into the ring. Michael Cole comes out, and he's going to interview the current NXT champion, Seth Rollins, and the #1 contender for the NXT title, Jinder Mahal. Now, like I said, the storylines aren't caught up to where they are at on WWE TV currently. So right now, Rollins isn't part of the Shield. Jinder Mahal isn't part of three-man band. They're still with their original gimmicks. And Rollins' promo was fire. So was Jinder Mahal. They're very good at playing their parts. And these two just went back and forth. Incredible promo. And then Michael Cole started to ask the hard questions to Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal didn't like this. He goes to put his hands on Michael Cole. Seth Rollins stops him. Rollins looks over at Cole for a minute. And in this moment of distraction, Jinder Mahal capitalizes. He hits the sucker punch, he attacks, and he ends up locking the current NXT champion Seth Rollins in the camel clutch until the officials come out and break it up. Then we go into the main event of the night. The WWE Tag Team Championships are on the line. Kane and Daniel Bryan will defend against Michael McGillicuddy and Johnny Curtis, like I mentioned a little bit earlier on in the episode. Johnny Curtis finally is cashing in that opportunity he won on NXT so many months back. Now, Michael McGillicuddy has all the tools. He has what it takes, and he's actually been on the main roster before, part of the new Nexus. And I really think they really need to play off the history. They need to play off that his father's Larry the Axe. They need to play off that his grandfather's Larry the Axe Hennig and his father's Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig. I think he should really adopt his real name, Joe Hennig, and break out. I mean, he's an incredible star. He has an incredible presence. He has so much intensity, and I really can't wait to see what he's going to do in the future. And Johnny Curtis, another great superstar, soon to make his debut on the main roster as Fandango. And tonight, he had some of the Fandango-esque mannerisms. I mean, he was dancing. He was getting a lot of heat. And that's what they're hoping for Fandango. They want him to get heat from the men, appeal to the women, and hopefully be successful like they want with every single superstar. But Kane and Daniel Bryan were successful. They picked up the win, and they successfully defended the tag team titles. Now, I do have to say, these are some incredible superstars that were featured on this episode of NXT Wrestling, and the future for WWE looks very bright if these are the kind of talent that they're going to be looking for to bring up to the main roster soon. Now, I want to know your guys' thoughts. I want to know your guys' feedback, and I want you to drop it below. Thanks for checking out this video, and thanks for being loyal fans and subscribers to the F and brand of wrestling and entertainment here on YouTube.com. I could not do it without you. Have a great afternoon, and I'll catch you later.